8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? First off, we will start with apologies for Wednesday night. I know I got so much shit for that. I know I did. People were mad. I had it scheduled and everything. You gotta believe me. I was totally gonna do a show on Wednesday night, and then I had to work late. And it is not my fault, okay? Somebody didn't show up to work, and I got mandated, and there was nobody else to cover, and so that's what happened. I am sorry for missing Wednesday night show for the second week in a row. By the time I got home, the show already was supposed to have started, and yeah, so, and then I was tired as hell, and I hadn't eaten yet, and so I was like, I can't even do like a short show because I'm tired. I need to eat. I need to like chill. Sorry, I'm trying to get the chat open here. That's why I look distracted looking at some shit over here. So I'm trying to get the fucking chat open. There we go. There's the chat. All right, there we go. So sorry about Wednesday night. I swear that was not on purpose. I did not plan that at all. And I got held over for work. So I'm sorry. Sorry. I would rather have been home. Trust me. And it wasn't even like it was like a busy day or anything. You know what I mean? But like at my job, there has to be so many people there, right? Like I'm trying not to talk too much about what I do. I know some of you guys kind of have an idea of what I do, but trying not to get into too many details. But yeah, basically, like there are certain, like every shift at my job has to have so many people there, and if somebody doesn't show up, it throws everything else off. And so they're like, okay, one of y'all's got to stay. And so there were like 4 of us that were supposed to be going home. And 2 of the 4 had already stayed late and worked overtime earlier in the week. And one of them couldn't because he had to go pick up his daughter, and that left me. And I was like, shit. So I took the hit and stayed like an extra 6 hours. So what is this shit? Why is there new shit in the chat that I've never seen before? What are these little crowns? Community leaderboards? Can y'all see that? I've never seen this before. What is this? Are y'all seeing that, or is that just me? Do y'all not see that? Is it just me seeing that? Can y'all see those little crowns next to your names? It says like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, all that shit. Okay, y'all can see it. All right, cool. I've never seen that before. This is the first time that's ever popped up for me. And I just did a show on the other channel, and that shit wasn't there. So I don't know what the fuck that is. What does it say when I click on one? Community leaderboards. It gives you guys XP. XP for what? Is it like by how many comments you guys leave? It shows me like the top 9. But I guess only the top 3 it shows the little crown for. That's fucking weird. Is it like a little YouTube game? Like, who can beat... how do you get to number 1? Is it just comments? Whoever leaves the most comments gets number 1. I don't know how that even works. Participation in chats, super chats, stickers, etc. Okay. All right, cool. I don't know. Dwayne says, Zup smack. Lele says, there's now a community leaderboard for chats. Okay, there you go. Let's see. Dwayne says, another week, another excuse. Yeah. Hey, man, it was not my fault this time. I mean, it's my fault because I have a job, but David Jones says, tardy and unexcused absences. Is that where we are now? I have an excuse. Lele says, I ordered a new lamp today for my apartment because there's no proper light in the living room area and the kitchen light bulbs are super dim. You just get new light bulbs. I mean, you can get a lamp. That's fine. Nice Shark says, turn your Steam on and claim the game. The damn game I sent you. Yeah, I saw that. You sent me Back 4 Blood, but I already have Back 4 Blood. I'm pretty sure I already have Back 4 Blood. Because we've played it before. I'm going to check. Hold on. I feel like Back 4 Blood is something I already have. But maybe I'm thinking of a different game. There was one game we played... It was like a 4-player game. And it's not Left 4 Dead, it's not Killing Floor. It was another game that we all played. Me and you and Angry had it too. And I thought it was Back 4 Blood. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game then. I don't know, because I'm not seeing Back 4 Blood in my list of games I have. Oh, damn, I'm looking at my games. I'm like, fuck, I haven't played Halo in a while. Or Killing Floor, for that matter. Damn, I have Star Trek Online, Star Wars Empire at War, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, Valheim. I don't even know what that is, but I have it. War Thunder, Warhammer Darktide, Warhammer Vermintide. I have all 3 of the Witchers, which I've never played. Zombie Army Trilogy. Maybe that's the game I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking of Zombie Army Trilogy. Okay, I'm looking at Steam here. Where do you find the thing that you sent me? I don't see it. I don't see it under... Is it under notifications? Oh, there we go. You received a gift. Add to my library. I got Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of another game there, Night Strike. I don't know. I thought there was a game where it was like a 4-player game where we just fought off like hordes and waves of characters, or not characters, waves of zombies. But the difference between it and Left 4 Dead was you were on like a static map. Like you didn't move through a level. You had like a area that you had to defend. And you would go defend it from one place, and you could set up like turrets and shit, and then you'd go defend it for someplace else. Maybe that's Zombie Army Trilogy, I'm thinking. I don't know what the fuck that was. What game am I thinking of? Anyway. I'm downloading it now, though. All right, let's see what you guys are there. Lead on Steel says, it's for purchase. Oh, I got that one already. All right, got that. Lead on Steel says, every live I've watched from people this week has been the same reaction. What the fuck are those crowns? Yeah, I know. I didn't even see what the hell it is. Miraclip says, Matt, thoughts on Trump's administration planning to merge the ATF with the DEA? Oh, man. So I've heard about this, but I've seen no details released on exactly how that would play out. So, I mean, it really does come down to, like, I don't know. Like, as a gun owner who hates the ATF, like, this could be good or it could be bad, right? And it also could just be neutral. It could be a situation where it really has no effect on gun owners. You know what I mean? From a certain point of view, I can see how it makes sense. You're basically adding a D to the BATF, right? In just having all those things that are regulated under one roof instead of having alcohol, tobacco, and firearms under one roof and drugs under another. I mean, in the end, it may mean nothing to that, average gun owner, right? It may mean nothing. It may not change anything, it may still take other things to, change, I mean, from a certain point of view, I mean, you really wouldn't expect it to change anything because, like, it regardless of whether the DEA and the ATF become a single organization under one roof or not, right? Like, the issue is that the laws need to change. Now, I don't think that the DEA somehow is, going to influence the people at the ATF in ways that would benefit gun owners. I don't necessarily think it would influence the ATF necessarily in ways that would negatively impact gun owners either. I think the highest likelihood is that things will run as normal, but it is a way to streamline both organizations. Both organizations are still, at the behest of the laws that they are put in charge of enforcing. Could it make a difference in the sense that with that streamlining, maybe the ATF stops reinterpreting shit because they don't have people now just dedicated to doing nothing but reinterpreting laws? Possibly, and that would be a good thing. The problem, of course, is still the laws themselves, which that needs to go through Congress and the Senate and the administration. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Because, again, we don't really know the details at this point. So, Night Strike says that was Zombie Army Trilogy. Okay, cool. And he also says, you don't have it. It went on sale, so I got it for you. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Lele says, we should all take a trip to the land between the lakes and do a Dogman Bigfoot search. I don't know where that is, but I'm always down to hunt for Bigfoot. Manuel Fernandez dropped in a super chat. Thank you, sir. It says, can you tell me what to look for in a high-quality AK, but in rant format? I'd really appreciate it. By the way, does anybody call you NEA pronounced NUA in person? No. I'm trying to think if anybody in person. Yeah. I mean, I think kind of as like a joke, people called me NEA in person a couple of times. Most people just call me Matt. Everybody knows my name's Matt. I think it was in my, I don't know, 4th or 5th video on YouTube that I did back in 2010 that I opened the video with like, because I think the first handful of videos I did on YouTube, I was like, hey guys, Never Enough Ammo here. And then in like the 4th, 5th, 6th, I don't know what video it was, but early on, I opened the video with, hey guys, you know what? My name's Matt. Just call me Matt. Channel name's Never Enough Ammo, but my name's Matt. And then after that, whenever I would, because for a while, because that was kind of a thing you did in YouTube videos at the beginning, was be like, hey guys, so-and-so here. And so I think I did that for a while. And so I just started being like, hey guys, Matt here. Let's talk about this, or whatever the fuck the video was about. So yeah, most people just call me Matt. I mean, it's my fucking name. So I've had a couple people call me NEA, but nobody's ever pronounced it like that. Okay, so what to look for in a high quality AK-47? Oh man, it's more difficult to go through this from the perspective of AKs than it is ARs, and I don't know how to do this in a rant because there's not really anything about AK-47s that pisses me off, and I can't really think of any like AK manufacturers off the top of my head that piss me off or have done anything to piss me off. So I don't know how to rant this, but what to look for in an AK-47? Trunnions, rivets, barrel steel. Also, single hook versus double hook triggers. Does that mean the single hooks are bad? No. Half the AKs out there on the market have single hook triggers. I would show you on my AK what I'm talking about, but I can't because this is a live chat. But needless to say, you can look up single hook and double hook triggers on Google and see what I'm talking about. Double hook triggers usually tend to be regarded as higher quality and more durable. That being said, honestly, half the triggers out there on the market on AKs that get brought into the country that have to have for 922R compliance, have to have certain parts swapped out with them. A lot of them get Tapco triggers put in them because that trigger group counts as like 5 or 6 of the parts they have to swap out. So they swap the triggers out with Tapco triggers, which are single hook triggers, which work fine. And there's nothing wrong with them. And fucking chances are, if you've ever shot an AK, you probably shot an AK with a single hook Tapco trigger. But that's one thing to take into consideration. I think it's the least important of all the things that you need to look at. The other things are the trunnions, right? Well, and honestly, if we're going to talk about trunnions, you might as well talk about the bolt carriers as well. You want to look for forged or milled bolt carriers and trunnions, not cast. Yes, there are things like Wassers and stuff out there that have cast trunnions and bolt carriers, excuse me, that are probably fine. But if you want to step it up and get a higher quality AK, look for something where the trunnions, and if you don't know what the trunnions are, I assume you do, but maybe you don't. The trunnion is the block of metal at the front of the receiver and the block of metal at the rear of the receiver. The one at the front is more important, but both are essential for the gun to run properly. And they have these chunks of metal that can be either forged, milled, or cast. Cast is obviously the lowest quality, where you might have some issues depending on how well it was cast. forged and milled are what you want. So when you're buying an AK, look for something. If you're buying a stamped receiver AK, because that's when trunnions come into play. Because if it is a milled receiver AK, the trunnions are part of the receiver, right? It's not a separate chunk of steel. So if you're buying a stamped receiver AK, which is the majority of the AKs out there on the market, probably 90% of what is available out there to buy is a stamped receiver, which is the original design for the AK. It's the most popular design for the AK. I know people who swear by milled receivers, but most are going to be stamped. And so since it is just a flat piece of sheet steel that is folded into the shape of a receiver, it has to have that front trunnion and rear trunnion to give it stability, and that is what the receiver is riveted to, that front and rear piece. Okay? And you want those chunks of steel to be milled or forged, not cast. Then let's go back to the receiver itself. Milled receiver versus a stamped receiver. Again, stamped is 90% of the market. That doesn't necessarily mean it's better or worse. In my opinion alone, and there are people who share this opinion, but I'll explain why I feel this way and the things I have seen, albeit very, very rare, that give me this opinion. Because some people out there will swear by milled receivers, because a milled receiver is a solid chunk of steel, a block of steel that is, you know, just whatever, that then they mill out the receiver to make room for the trigger group and bolt carrier and all that. And so those guns don't have to be riveted together. And some people say that's way better. Okay. First of all, the original design for the AK, and people will argue this, swear to God, people will argue this, and I don't know why they argue it, because they're wrong. Okay. It's very easy to find this information, but the original design for the AK by Kalashnikov was a stamped receiver with trunnions. Now, when the rifle first went into production, they did have some issues with stamped receivers, and I will explain what that is in just a minute. But so what happened was, towards the end of the 1940s and into the early 1950s, I believe up until 1952, when Russia was making AKs, they for a period of time, for 3-4 years, they were pumping out AKs that did have milled receivers. Then I believe in 1952, they went back to stamped receivers, which was the original design. Now, to explain what happened was, after World War II, and because of all the shit that Russia went through, their manufacturing process, they had a really, really hard time properly, I believe it was the rails, the rails that the bolt rides on in the stamped receivers. They had a hard time assembling those properly to be as reliable as they wanted it to be. So what they did, because during World War II, the vast majority of the factories that they had been using were, pumping out milled receiver, like Mosin for Mosin Nagants and SKSs and things like that. So what they did is they temporarily augmented the design of the AK and started milling receivers for them so they could pump them out. But the intention was always to be a stamped receiver rifle. And I agree with that. It makes the rifle lighter. It also allows the rifle to flex. Now, some people say that makes it less accurate. I'm sorry, but if you're less accurate, that's on you, not the gun. I have seen and have had friends, and there are videos you can watch on YouTube of milled receivers cracking to various degrees after excessive use on an AK rifle. Now, it shouldn't do that anyway. And that tells me there's a problem with that rifle anyway. However, it is something that can happen with a milled receiver AK that does not happen with a stamped receiver AK, because the stamped receiver AK actually has some flex under recoil. Not a lot, hardly any at all, but it is enough that there's a little bit of give in the receiver so that the recoil of extended and honestly probably excessive use of the rifle it's not going to damage the rifle. Whereas with a milled receiver that has no flex, it's just a solid chunk of steel that was milled out, you could have some issues. The likelihood of you having issues is probably insanely low. However, to me personally, it is just proof that the rifle absolutely should be made with a stamped receiver and 2 milled or forged trunnions, one in front, one in back. It's my opinion on that. As far as the barrel goes, always check, make sure they're using 4150 steel. Most barrels on most AKs that we get here in the United States have American barrels put on them. Most of those barrels are made by companies like Mossberg. A lot of people don't know that. Mossberg makes a ton of AK barrels that a lot of companies use. And there are other companies that make AK barrels as well, but most of these AKs that get imported in have American barrels slapped on them as part of 922R compliance. And sometimes just because they import them in as kits. And then you have things like the AMD 63s and AMD 65s that were imported with 12.5-inch barrels. Well, they can't leave those on there because those would be SBRs. So they import the kits and they put 16.5-inch, American barrels on them. Just make sure it's a 4150 steel barrel, not a 4140 steel barrel, which is the same thing I'll tell you about ARs. Same thing. Always make sure, and I don't know too many companies that are still making ARs with 4140 barrels, but there are probably some. Always make sure you're buying something that's 4150 barrel steel. Same thing with AKs. Lastly is going to be the rivets. Always make sure that your rivets look good on the rifle, okay? If you don't know what a good, well-seated rivet should look like, just look up some pictures online, okay? But you can tell a difference between a rifle where the stamped receiver has been folded and riveted properly to the trunnions and one that hasn't. You can see the rivets should sit flat. Like, it's hard to explain. If you ever messed around with anything that gets riveted, if you ever worked in a machine shop or anything like that, then you know what a well-seated rivet should look like. If you don't, look online and look at pictures of whether it's AKs or anything that has to be riveted together, and look at pictures of well-seated rivets versus not well-seated rivets. So those are the things I would say to focus on when it comes to an AK to look at. Okay, 4150 barrel steel. Okay, again, least important is double hook versus single hook triggers. Honestly, I wouldn't even worry about that one now that I'm thinking about it. Milled versus stamped receivers. And then if you're going stamped receivers, which is my recommendation, make sure the front and rear trunnion are listed as milled or forged, not cast. And then finally, just make sure you check the rivets when you look at the rifle. Does that cover everything, Manuel? I hope it does. I hope it does. Nice Strike says Back for Blood is the Left 4 Dead sequel that the devs left Valve to go make as the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. Okay, cool. Randy Button-Up says Dante's Inferno is a terrific game. I don't think I ever played that one. I know what you're talking about, though. Isn't that the one where you actually, like, climb the tower, the levels of hell, and you're like a knight or something. I don't think I've ever played it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Ledley says trip could also include a visit to Waverly Hills. I so want to take Duke to a haunted hospital or something like that. Ledley says Sig's about to be bankrupt from all the P320 lawsuits and wants immunity over their own fuck up. Of course they do. What is this? Let's see. Oh, got a super chat here from Lead on Steel. Thank you, sir. Let me get that pulled up here. It says, time for you to watch Mobland finale Sunday. I have watched it. I'm all caught up. I am waiting for the finale on Sunday. The show is fucking amazing. Highly recommend it. It's a fantastic show. If you have not watched Mobland yet, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Phenomenal show. Tom Hardy plays like the right-hand man of an Irish mobster. That's all I'll say. Great fucking show. And yes, I finally caught up this week. I have watched the whole thing, the first 8 or 9 episodes, whatever it is. I think Sunday's either episode 9 or 10. I can't remember. But either way, Sunday's the finale. And very much looking forward to it. So yes, I'm all caught up. I'm good. And it has been a fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic. Calhoun Republic says, howdy ho. Corey's out there. He says, what's up, brother? It's been a while. How are you doing? Not too bad. Busy as shit at work. That's about it. So. George says, hey. What's up, George? How's South Texas? David Jones says the old milled Mac 90s never broke. Yeah, those Mac 90s were fucking great. Again, I am not trying to knock milled receiver AKs. I just want to give my opinion and why I have that opinion of why I prefer stamped receivers. I would never knock a Mac 90. George says, Matt sent you something on Facebook Messenger. You did? Let me look on my phone. It's easier right now to look on my phone than anything else. Ooh, Texas passed an anti-red flag law bill. That's awesome. That's fucking great. Sweet, dude. That's awesome. Go Tejas. Kellen says those Tapco triggers were actually really good for how cheap they were. RIP Tapco, you are missed. I hoard my Tapco SKS mags. I know. Tapco made great SKS mags. Let's see. Let us see. Mobland is amazing. Tom Hardy plays a great character, one of the best mob shows ever. It's phenomenal, dude. It's amazing. It was like Emptiness says, is it as good as Lioness or Bosch? It is better than Lioness. Bosch, I've only ever watched the first season of, and that was a long time ago, whenever the first season came out, which had to have been like back in 2015 or some shit like that. So I don't remember. I remember really liking Bosch. I don't even remember why I stopped watching Bosch, to be honest. Like, I watched the first season, and then for some reason I never made it past the first season. Randy Butternut says, read last comment. It's a pit and you're a crusader, but yes, basically I'm playing it now. The final boss has a big willy. Oh, he's got a big old dong, does he? Oh, look at that. Randy Butternubs is #1 in the, what is this called again? Community leaderboards. He's #1. Night Strike's #2, and Calhoun is #3. Oh, the tides have changed. The tides have changed. I don't know what that even means, to be honest with you guys, as we discussed at the beginning of the chat. So I don't know what that means you've done, Randy Butternubs, but apparently whatever you've done is enough to put you number one in the Never Enough Ammo community leaderboards. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. And apparently, like other people were saying, I guess that's a combination of comments, and you get ranked based on comments and super chats. And did you say super stickers? Has anybody ever used a super sticker? What is the point of the super stickers? You don't get to say anything. It's just, you're just sending somebody a fucking little picture. It's like retarded. I don't know if anybody's ever sent me a super sticker. I can't remember, honestly. So I don't know. But again, I don't know. I haven't. This is the first time I'm seeing all these little community leaderboard things. So I don't exactly know. Let's look it up. Hold on. YouTube community leaderboard features within live streams that ranks viewers based on their engagement during the stream. So it's a combination of participation in live chats, super stickers, and other engaging interactions. Viewers earn points for actively participating, with more points awarded for actions like super chats and super stickers and gifting. But you still get points even for comments. Top 3 earn a special badge. Yeah. So everything counts towards it, everything you do in the chat. But I guess super chats and super stickers count for more. I don't know. Calvin says super sticker is like Flare, but it just scrolls by. Yeah, I don't see a point in fucking super stickers. George says, hey, I got number 1 now. Lily says, I was going to send you a super sticker, but now I don't want to look retarded. I just don't see the point of them. Like, wouldn't you rather send a super chat? Like, if you're going to spend money, like, actually be able to say something. I mean, that would, you know. Mr. Scary says, I want to be number 12. Let's see. Number 12 is Comfortably Numb. Let's see. Where are you? Are you listed here? Mr. Scary is at number 20 on the community leaderboards. You got 8 more points to go. Dino's sent a super sticker. Fucking unicorn. There you go. Jesus Christ. Fucking, I don't get it. Fucking retarded. Corey says, if you'd call or text every now and again, you'd know this month has been hell on my end. At the beginning of the month, I almost lost my wife. What the fuck, dude? Jesus Christ, what fucking happened? That's fucked up. Oh, now Night Strike's talking shit. Yeah, Matt doesn't answer messages. Motherfucker, I'm working all the time. Like this week, today is my only day off this week. I work every other day. I'm sorry, I fucking work. A lot. A lot more than I used to. Davy Jones says Last Kingdom and Valhalla on Netflix are worth watching. I've heard of both of them. I have not watched either of them. Dino says I'm doing 100 hours this week. What are you doing, part-timer? Fuck you. I'm not working 100 hours, that's for sure. But I'm working, my wife's working, and like I'm working, my wife's working, my son's working, and then I still have my 2 daughters. So it's like I get up at 4, I go to work, I get out at about 2 in the afternoon, come home just in time for my daughters to get out of school so that we can make sure and do homework and make dinner and do all that shit. And then if I don't have a show, I try to go to bed as soon as possible. If I do have a show, I try to lay down and take a nap before I have to wake up and do a show and then go back to bed after the show. So, I mean, I'm not bitching. I'm not acting like I'm fucking like the busiest motherfucker in the world or anything. But I, you know, like everybody, I fucking just got. I mean, that's why I moved here. You know what I mean? Like, get a better job and fucking try and get the kids someplace and do some stuff that we weren't able to do down in South Texas. So. But fuck, dude, that's fucked up, Corey. I'm sorry, man. Kellen says, I don't know if you started telling people your line of work or not, but if not, you gave it away when you leaned forward. No, I know what's there. That doesn't tell you what I do, though. That kind of might tell you a little bit about what I do. What's on that bulletproof vest does not have to be there. It just came with the vest, and I just never took it off. And nobody at work fucking gives a shit. So, because it's just a Velcro patch. I tried to fucking put other Velcro patches on it, and my boss was like, "No." I was gonna put like a fucking my NEA patch and shit on my vest. He's like, no. He's like, why don't you just not wear a fucking, you know, he's like, you don't need a fucking patch. I was like, yeah, but it came with the fucking patches. So. George says, last night Yankee or Wednesday night Yankee mentioned about you, if you remember, or someone to let you know about Thursday night's chat with Yankee. Yeah, but he didn't do a chat last night. That was last night. And here's the thing, because I was off today, like I was up and awake, I could have done the chat last night, but he didn't do one last night. He just did his regular chat. Corey says, wife is slowly getting better, but stuck in bed, can't move for at least 2 more months. Jesus, dude. You know, says, I sent you a link about a motorcycle I'm debating on getting. Thoughts? Where'd you send it? On Discord? Oh, I just see the name, Honda Valkyrie. Oh, dude. That's my dream bike right there, is a Honda Valkyrie. I would love to have a Honda Valkyrie. Yes, you should get it. You should totally get the Honda Valkyrie. Yes. And that's actually a really good price for one. I wish they still made those. I mean, they'd be retardedly expensive. They were retardedly expensive for the time when they came out, too. So, I mean, they were still cheaper than a fucking Harley. And I'd rather have one of those than a fucking Harley. But yeah, those are nice bikes. That's a nice bike. And I like that one too. It's just black and chrome, which is my favorite color for a motorcycle. Yes, you should definitely do that. Davey Jones says, are you moving up to dancing traffic cop? No. No, that would be a downward move. Coach says, my permanent vacation since December 1999. Lots of free time, but the pay sucks. Oh, Phoenix says, welcome to Gun Geek. Nice. Does that mean he... I think that means that you join the channel. Is that what that means? I think he's like new channel member. Yeah, right? New channel member? Yeah, there you go. Dino says, even with 55,000 miles? Yeah, dude, that if that thing has been... So, I mean, check the bike and make sure that, you know, if you've given it a once over and given it a ride and it drives well, I mean, 55,000 miles, I mean... That's not excessive for that bike. I mean, it's a decent amount of miles, but it's, you know, that more. My guess would be, especially looking at how that bike's set up, that bike was used as a road trip bike. That was not, so that's not city miles on that thing. People took that on road trips, which is perfectly reasonable for that bike. You know, I mean, that engine is a solid engine. I believe it's the same engine that the, well, it's slightly modified version of the Goldwing engine. Is what it is, which is made, dude. There are Goldwings running around right now with 200,000 miles on them, and it's just a modified Goldwing engine. So, yeah. The 55,000 miles, if it's been taken care of and it sounds good, runs good, no oil leaks, the bike's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, I mean, I would get it and then just maybe take it to a shop and have them do a once over on it. You know, check everything, change out all the fluids. You know, just have them go through anything, do all the basic maintenance to it. Unless you want to do that yourself, whatever you want to do. So, and it'll be fine. Let's see. Lele says, I recently added thick sliced cheese to my salad diet, and it's pretty good with bacon bits. Oh, okay. Yeah, fucking, I love salad. I eat salad all the fucking time. I just had salad. Yeah, I had a taco salad yesterday. Took some, my wife, because my wife will buy some of those rotisserie chickens that you buy. You know, the pre-made rotisserie chickens like that they cook fresh at like the grocery store or whatever. And, you know, just take all the chicken off of it. And we had some leftover chicken. She bought a couple of rotisserie chickens the day before, and everybody ate. And we had like chicken and mashed potatoes and salad and all this stuff. And then yesterday I came home and there was still a bunch of chicken left. And so I took the chicken and I threw it in the pan, and it's already cooked. and put taco seasoning on it, and basically made, you know, chicken taco filling, and put that on a salad. Threw in some lettuce, some tomato, some sharp cheddar cheese. Then I do a mix of ranch and hot sauce. And this time I use sriracha because I like the way sriracha tastes on salad, and mixed it all up. Basically had a giant taco salad in a bowl like this fucking big. It was delicious. David Jones says King of the Hill reboot on Disney Hulu. Huh. I gotta go back and watch King of the Hill. I didn't. It was a show that came on at a point where I started watching it in the 90s, and then at some point dropped off, and I hadn't watched it. I never watched the whole thing. Neuro Club says, Matt, I understand what you mean. However, if these agencies actually target bad guys, street gangs, cartels without harassing law-abiding citizens, I don't mind. It would be great, wouldn't it? Probably won't, but... Go Shot says, I bought a 1978 Honda Hawk 8-year-old motorcycle that only had 300 miles on it. Didn't make it home. Both tires were rotten and came apart. Had to trailer it home. Dude, those Honda Hawks are fucking badass. Now, there's nothing you can do about rotted tires, but those Honda Hawks are fucking awesome. Kelly says, be right back. I'm getting salad. Let's see. But yes, by the way, that bike is fucking awesome. And you should totally buy that. Hold on. I'm getting messages over here. This is not chat related. Okay, sorry. Checking that shit. Okay. Coach Joe says motor mounts were weak and would bend. Dwayne says P.O. box yet? I still don't have a fucking P.O. box, man. You know how expensive those fucking things are? No, I haven't gotten a P.O. box yet. I know I need to. Why do you keep messaging me? Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. Stop. What else is up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a few minutes left. I'm just gonna jam to the music. I need to check Leo's channel and see if he's made some other songs I need to download. I haven't checked his channel for a little bit. His Grotesque Beats channel. I haven't talked to Leo in when's the last time I talked to fucking Leo? It's been like 2 weeks because I missed the last 2 Wednesday chats. That's when I usually talk to Leo. That's when I talk to everybody nowadays, except for fucking Duke. It's only chat. George says, send some reels to Toy Tuber group. Love the RoboCop toy commercials I sent to the group. Let's see. Oh, dude, that Superman's awesome. That's not real, though, is it? Oh, that is real. I thought that was just like CGI or some shit. That is cool. Loud music. Loud music. Okay. Where are we at? Old Man Butler says, because you've been so absent. I have been absent. I have. Admittedly. Granted, it's not intentional. Okay, last week it was the end of the year for my daughter, my youngest, and she had that freaking recital last week. And this week was just, I was working late. Kosha says, seen the Nemo 300 Win Mag AR pistol with 8-inch barrel in your gun porn? Imagine firing that inside. I don't think I've seen that one. Did I see that one? Oh, that fucking thing. Yes, actually, I did see that picture. Jesus Christ. No, I wouldn't want to fire that. Fuck no. Oh, I wouldn't want to fire that outside, much less inside. Billy says, my nephew graduated high school last weekend. Very cool. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for me to wind this one down. I know. I work all weekend, so I got to wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's already 10 o'clock at night. So, no Geek Chat or anything this weekend. So we'll be back next week. And hopefully I don't have to work late. Fuck. Anyway. All right. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I got to go get to bed. Hasta luego. Enjoy your fucking weekend. Deuces, yo. Shout out P and Fridge. All that good shit. And I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.